Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first Parks and Human Services Committee meeting on October 7th, 2021. I am here with Council President Tony Troutner and virtually with Council Member Seth Winder-Kaur. Ron, can you call the order? The roll call?
Chair McCall.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here.
Council President Troutner.
Here.
Councilmember Kaur.
She is here.
She's here.
She's here.
I think she's here. Okay. Good. All right. Okay, do we have any changes to the agenda?
Nope. Agenda's fine. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Yes, I move to approve the agenda.
All right. Okay, we're going to get started. First up,
Wait.
Oh, just kidding.
Councilmember Kaur would second.
Oh, hopefully.
She wants to second the agenda.
Councilmember Kaur, would you like to second the agenda?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll get started. First up,
We have to vote.
It's my first time. It's a learning experience. Okay, so we're going to vote to approve the agenda.
All those in favor say aye.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, for real this time, we're going to get started. All right, first up, we have the 2022 South King County Housing and Homeless Partners Work Plan, and we have Angela up to present on that.
Good evening, Council. Angela Sanfilippo with SKIP, South King Housing and Homelessness Partners. This is my first time being at an in-person meeting in a very long time, so I'm with you. But it's a pleasure to be here, excited to talk through the 2022 work plan and budget as approved by our executive board. I have a clicker. There we go. So just a quick overview of our process. I know you all saw this back in the spring, but our work plan and budget process has been to develop priorities and work plan action items with our staff work group, which has representatives of each of our partner jurisdictions, and then work with the executive board on those recommendations, along with getting feedback from all of our partner jurisdictions' legislative bodies. So that was back this past June. And then in July, the executive board actually adopted the work plan and budget. But per our interlocal agreement, it does not go into place until we have each of our partner jurisdictions also approve the plan. And that is what brings me here tonight and to walk through the plan itself as approved by the executive board. Just to provide some grounding in terms of our mission, it is SKIP's mission to work together and share resources to create a coordinated, comprehensive, and equitable approach to increasing housing stability, reducing homelessness, and producing and preserving quality, affordable housing across South King County. In order to achieve our mission, we have three overarching objectives. These are kind of guide our work plan process. The first one being sharing technical information and resources to promote housing policy across South King County jurisdictions. Also coordinating public resources to help attract greater private and public investment into affordable housing for South King County. And then the last one is providing a unified voice and thinking about advocating for housing policy across our local, regional, and state levels. So in terms of our work plan, I'm just going to kind of walk through, I know you have the work plan as approved, but I wanted to walk through it in a little bit different way in terms of our three primary buckets of work: of governance and administration, policy and planning, and outreach and education. But we have quite a number of items that are reoccurring or work plan items that we will be doing each year. So you'll continue to see these. Our work plan and budget process, we do have an annual process that we go through as I've outlined. So that's part of the governance and administration. Also providing quarterly progress and budget reports. These go to our executive board, and those are shared with our partner jurisdictions to provide progress updates. And then also implementing new this year is to provide an annual update to stakeholders in non-SCIP partner cities. So thinking about just providing a little bit of an update to other members on the work that we're doing and increase our visibility across South King County. In terms of policy and planning, building funding support for SCIP's Housing Capital Fund, supporting housing policies and strategies at a local and regional level that address displacement, fair and healthy housing, and policies that embed and track racial equity. Thirdly, on that, we started convening a group of city and county land use planners. This is the SOCIO group. And this is, in addition to our staff work group, space for coordination really specifically on our long-range planners that are working on their housing action plans, as well as in the next coming years, the comprehensive plan updates. So it's provided some really good space for coordination and collaboration, beginning with the sub-regional housing framework from the House Bill 1923 grant program and continuing through their housing action plans, and then working on housing action plan implementation as well. In terms of outreach and education, we represent SCIP at local and regional meetings and forums. That is an opportunity for us to coordinate with stakeholder groups as well as other regional bodies like the Affordable Housing Commission, the Housing Development Consortium, and other stakeholder groups that have a similar mission and priorities to SCIP. We also conduct monthly executive board educational topics. This is a way for us to keep the board informed on emerging issues and make sure we have shared understanding of the needs and opportunities in South King County. We also work with additional groups to provide education and engagement opportunities for other elected officials, stakeholder groups, and community members. So this is a way for us to really increase the visibility of the need for affordable housing and address questions and concerns that come up. We also adopt state and federal legislative priorities. So this is a way for us to create that unified voice and advocate for needs in South King County at the broader state and federal level. And then we also convene a group of South King County joint planners and developers. This is a space for human services as well as land use planners to coordinate and collaborate with affordable housing developer groups to identify needs and opportunities and really just provide some more active coordination outside of specific development projects, and they meet every other month throughout the year. In terms of areas of ongoing focus, we have done a lot of work this year to establish a SCIP advisory board. Happy and excited to say that they were appointed our inaugural advisory board at our last executive board meeting, and their first meeting will be at the end of October. We also are establishing and working very diligently on establishing a process for our Housing Capital Fund, our administrative structure and plan, with the intention of doing our first round of applications for that fund in 2022. In terms of building funding support, we have established a SCIP nonprofit. We got our Washington State nonprofit status in August and are working towards the federal designation of a 501c3 to be consistent with some of the philanthropic and other corporate investors' needs around providing additional investments. In addition to that, we've been developing marketing materials, really providing that case for funding support as we start to reach out to some of those philanthropic and corporate investors. And then also coordinating with developers. This goes back to that South King County Joint Planners and Developers group, but really thinking about how we can coordinate with our developers to better understand barriers for housing production and the preservation of affordable housing. And then building a assessment of existing preservation programs, so policies that exist in our South King County jurisdictions, and providing some space for coordination at our staff work group level for what types of programs are working or could be implemented or made changes to make a little bit more robust. Lastly, this includes inventory and monitoring for affordable housing that's vulnerable to market pressures. So this is a body of work that is ongoing, and we're working closely with our partners to apply for Housing Action Plan implementation grants that will help to move this work forward, a mechanism to really track our housing stock, our affordable housing stock, both in the regulated and the unregulated space across South King County. And then in terms of new action items and new priorities for 2022, the Executive Board adopted a priority to look at 3 to 5 year strategic goals and objectives. So this is really a way for us to think about our long-term strategies, and also a way to assess progress as we move towards standing up SCIP as a long-term sustainable organization. And then also thinking about additional strategies for preservation of affordable housing. So just really significant priority for us in terms of preserving our existing affordable housing stock, and recognizing that a lot of the housing in South King County is not regulated, does not have affordability requirements, and is at risk of redevelopment and potential displacement of existing residents. Also identified as a priority is to really focus on educational opportunities that address better understanding of the connection between SCIP mission and homelessness services outreach and best practices. So we've really been focusing on the affordable housing component and building affordable housing inventory, and really just providing some more education around how that ties into homelessness and addressing housing stability. And then lastly, using an equity lens for development and implementation of all aspects of the work plan. Are really excited about that advisory group, as I talked about, a significant way that we can incorporate community voice in the diverse communities across South King County into the decision making of SCIP, and we'll be leaning on them for pieces of this work to make sure that we're looking at all of our work plan items through an equity lens. I will stop there on the work plan and see if there's any questions.
Does anyone have any questions? You do? Oh, go ahead.
Thank you so much for presenting this to us. So looking at the work plan, I'm guessing, like you have in the past when you present this in the budget to us, we'll have an opportunity to look at those goals and objectives and provide feedback throughout that process, or...
Yeah, so when I was back in the spring, we went through kind of the goals and objectives, and then this is the more final version of what that is. So yeah, if you have feedback or any suggestions on that, please feel free to send those through either to Marina or just directly to me.
I just want to thank you for keeping all of the jurisdictions that, work together during this process to be able to do that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Councilmember Kaur, do you have a question?
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. Just to kind of quickly, I'm assuming like the quarterly updates, they'll be coming through our staff, correct? Because I don't expect you to show up to every jurisdiction quarterly to give updates. I don't know if that's...
Yeah, correct. That goes through staff and through our executive board. So it's really just a one-pager progress report and then a budget report as well. But yeah, that goes through staff because it is a lot of meetings to get to if I were to do that quarterly.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much for your presentation. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the SCIP work plan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to approve the 2022 South King County Housing and Homelessness Partners Work Plan as adopted by the SCIP Executive Board on July 23rd, 2021.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 All right, anyone opposed?
Perfect.
Okay, moving on. Angela, you're up again for the budget.
Yeah, thank you. Angela Filippo again with SKIP. In addition to the work plan, the budget went through a very similar process. So I'm not going to walk through that process again, but very similar process in conjunction with our work plan. The priorities for 2022 were to work towards a balanced budget that includes 2 full-time positions. So currently, the executive manager position is full-time, and we have a 3/4-time program coordinator. But it was a priority for us to build capacity to increase that to a full-time position. And then also including a line item in our budget for compensation for our SKIP advisory board members. So there is a line item in the budget, but additional conversations to be had around what that structure looks like and how to administer compensation and what makes sense for in terms of active members that might be participating as part of an organization and already paid as part of that. So some further discussions to be had, but incorporating a line item in our budget so that we can further build out that structure and have those conversations. In terms of our balanced budget, and I know this is in your agenda report, but just to give a little bit of background, when SKIP first came to be, we had not hired staff or developed an administering agency, so our budget was really just a projection. And the jurisdiction contributions that began in 2019 did not cover our operating costs once staff was hired. So we have been using the existing contributions as they stood in that first 2019 budget, and then taking advantage of cost savings because staff was not hired in 2019. I came on board as the first staff member in 2020, and then we hired a program coordinator in October of 2020 as well. So there were some cost savings just based on the timing of staff hiring. So we've been able to spend down some of those cost savings while not increasing our budget contributions. But it was a priority for the executive board to look at how to increase contributions incrementally while spending down that fund balance to work us towards a balanced budget. So this is our new structure, and based on the population tiers of our SKIP jurisdictions and the contributions associated with those. So these are a 15% increase in the jurisdiction contributions from 2019 and 2020, but it is a way for us to kind of incrementally increase over time rather than do one big lump increase. And the next slide shows each of the jurisdiction contributions for 2022 that is in the budget. You'll see King County contributes based on their population tier, that $39,100, and then they contribute in an additional contribution to bring their contribution up to a flat rate of $75,000. The rest of the contributions are just simply attributed to those population tiers. And with that, I did provide my contact information, so if you do have suggestions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me, and I will take any questions you have on the budget.
Do I have any questions? Council President, Councilmember Corr? No?
Great.
Okay. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay. Do I have a motion for the SKIP budget?
Chair, I move to approve the 2022 South King Housing and Homelessness Partners budget as adopted by SKIP Executive Board on July 23, 2021.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay, moving on to info only, the Kent's Art Commission appointments, with Ronda presenting on that.
Hello. This is my first time at a committee meeting in this new format. It's very, very official. So I'm Ronda Billerbeck, the staff liaison to the Kent Arts Commission, and we wanted to just kind of give you an informational update today because we're probably the first one of our Parks Department commissions that's going through a major turnover in our commissioners since the council adopted the new ordinance that kind of governs how the arts commissions, or all the commissions across the city work. So we have, the Arts Commission previously has never had term limits, so that was a big change for us. And I think it speaks well for the Arts Commission that we have lots of commissioners that have been serving for quite some time. So, and it just so happens that many of their terms are coming up this month. So we kind of, the timeline with when the ordinance was approved and when our terms expire was close. So we have 6 terms expiring. The commission's 14 people. We have 6 terms expiring on October 16th. 2 of those are eligible to serve another term, but we do have 4 that are not. So we're kind of waiting. We knew that those expirations were coming, but we were kind of waiting until all of the new recruiting guidelines came out along with the ordinance. So it's been a bit of a hustle here to try to hurry up and interview and go through all the recruiting requirements to get some new commissioners on board. So we might be pushing it a little bit. I think we might, Julie and I have talked about how we might have a little bit of overlap. We're trying, but we might have some of our existing commissioners stick around for another month, maybe if need be, until we can get through some interviews and get our new commissioners on board. So that was kind of, am I forgetting anything, Julie?
Nope. Yep, we just wanted to inform you versus trying to do a 1-month interim appointment.
Yeah.
Rhonda, have you had much interest?
Yeah, we've had, I would say, more interest than we have before. Typically when we go out, I think there's been a lot of attention around it because of the passage of the ordinance. The Kent Reporter covered that. I know one of our applicants said that he had seen the article in the Kent Reporter, and that gave him the idea that he would like to get involved. So I think there's a bit more of knowledge about it in the community. And then we did go through some extra steps in terms of getting it out there and promoting it with the new process and the help from the city clerk's office. And so yeah, we have, for 4 spots, we currently have 7 applicants, and it looks like maybe 1 more, it might be trickling in. One of those, it looks like is technically not eligible because of residency requirements. So we've interviewed about a third of them at this point, myself and one of our executive committee members. So we're hoping by the end of next week we'll have some recommendations to put forth to the mayor.
Okay. Council President?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So you have 2 that have the ability to continue. Did they already confirm that they would like to continue?
One has officially confirmed. I'm waiting to hear back from the other one. I'm pretty sure she wants to.
And then are you confident in those interviews that you'll be doing that you'll be able to fill those 4? Or let's say, you feel like, maybe you would have the opportunity to offer to one of these people that
To stay.
Yeah. I mean, how do you work through that process? Because
I know it is a bit awkward. I think we're, in this transition time, we're trying to figure those things out. We do have one commissioner who is not eligible to serve again, who is wonderful, and I would love to have her stay if she could. She actually called me the other day and said, I have an opportunity to serve on another board, but I would really rather stay with the Arts Commission if that was an option. What should I do? And so I told her, I think we're going to be able to fill them, so go ahead, and I don't want you to miss an opportunity. So yeah, we are running up against some of those strange situations, and say if we could fill 3 but not 4, then it's kind of awkward which of the 4 we ask to stay. So hopefully we'll just get some good, it does seem like we have some good applicants though, and people we haven't seen before, so.
Thank you for the information. Councilmember Kaur, do you have any questions or comments?
Just a comment. Thank you, Rhonda, for letting us know. And makes us feel, at least I'm very positive, you have 7 new applicants, so there's interest in our residents who haven't served before, and a great opportunity for them. So looking forward to hearing what happens and how many individuals are appointed to this commission. So thank you for this update.
Yes, thank you, Rhonda.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, up next, we have Nathen Harper to talk about the Kent Police Detectives remodel.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I'm Nate Harper. I am the Facilities Capital Project Manager. I'm here to talk about the tenant improvement for the detectives area. This project involves expanding the existing detectives area and relocating the 3rd floor lunchroom in the Centennial Center. The scope of work includes demolition of designated walls and flooring and the addition of a new wall, new flooring, paint, and electrical components. The bid opening for this project was held on October 1st, 2021, with 6 bids being received. The lowest responsible and responsive bid was submitted by Christensen Incorporated, general contractor, in the amount of $121,900, which is under the engineer's estimate for $130,000. With that, we'd like to recommend moving forward in this project with Christensen Incorporated General Contractors.
Do I have any questions? Go ahead.
So this sounds like a kind of a little bit of a disruptive project once you kind of get started. What's the timeline as far as when you plan to begin and about how long it will take?
The timeline for this is usually takes about 2 weeks for them to get under contract once awarded to them, or so we can award it to them. And the total timeline for this is actually about 2 months.
Okay, not bad. And I know it's much needed, so thank you very much.
Yeah, the longest is just the procurement of materials and what climate we're living in today. So.
Okay, great.
Councilmember Kaur, do you have any questions or comments? No? Okay. All right. Do I have a motion for this?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to award the Kent Police Detectives Tenant Improvement to Christian Incorporated, the general contractor, in an amount not to exceed $134,211.90, and authorize the mayor to sign all necessary documents subject to final terms and conditions acceptable to the Parks Director and City Attorney.
Second.
All right, any discussion? No? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. And that concludes our first Parks and Human Services Committee. I thank you all for your patience and understanding as I made it through. All right, thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.